So let me ask, this information is designed for you to self-reflect and ask, wait a second, how come I'm not at my level of top performance? And I'd love to get some comments on what are you learning about yourself and what are you planning on doing about it? Seth, stand on up. Guys, give Seth a big round of applause. So we're gonna have the conversation about the chicken or the egg, or what some call a self-fulfilling prophecy. What Seth just did is he shared a story. He said, I wanna work on the physical in my life. And then he proceeded to tell us about what he's experiencing. And what did you first notice that he shared? He says, I'm having a hard time sleeping. Now, here's the weird thing. How many of you think if he's reflecting on his past that that's probably true? He's been having a hard time sleeping. Raise your hand if you get that. I'm sure he's been having a hard time because he's reflecting on that. So here's the weird thing. Is he now having a hard time sleeping because he has a hard time sleeping because has a problem with sleeping? Or now does he have a hard time sleeping because he's instructing his mind that he personally, identity-wise, has a hard time sleeping? Let me tell you something about children. How many of you can reflect on a negative experience from childhood? Raise your hand. Do me a favor right now where you are. Sit down, close your eyes, and I want you to review in your mind a negative memory from childhood. Everyone in this room. Just allow yourself to replay something unpleasant. Could have been on the playground, could have been in your home, it could have been super traumatic, it could have been just a little thing. But just right now, allow yourself to replay in your mind something that you hated from childhood. Do you know what it looks like to partner in real estate with me? Check it out. I've got people all over the world that watch me on social, and they realize, wait a second, Kris, I've got money sitting in 401ks, IRAs, equity in my home that is doing nothing. As in, it's earning single-digit ROIs, and it's not gonna compound meaningfully to give me the retirement that I want, because at the age of 65, the average person has $255,000 in retirement. It's not a ton. But partnering with me means putting that money into real estate and letting money perform for you in incredible ways. If you want to access double-digit returns in real estate and yet not have to do any of the work, leave it up to me and my team. Click the link below, learn about partnering. Let me show you my track record on my last $2 billion worth of deals. And raise your hand if you found something. Okay, so now I want you to get to the end of the horrible memory. Just fast forward, get to the sucky part. And then I want to ask you this question. What did you decide about yourself after this experience? And when you know what you decided about yourself, raise your hand. 5 more seconds. Okay, hands down, eyes open. Not what happened, but what did you decide? I'm not valued by my friends. What did you decide?
That I probably should have been thinking of others more.
I should have been thinking about others more. What did you decide?
Decided that I don't need friends as much.
I don't need friends. What did you decide, Oscar?
No, I can't do it by myself.
I can't do it by myself. What did you decide?
I'd only get married once.
I'd only get married once. What did you decide?
I'm not worth it.
I'm not worth it. What did you decide?
I'm not gonna beat my children.
I'm not gonna what?
Beat my children.
I'm not gonna beat my children. What did you decide?
I felt like I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't capable.
Yeah. Notice with all of our unique experiences in life that we heard a couple of good decisions like, I'm not gonna beat my children. Thank you. But for the most part, children who are great observers and horrible interpreters walk away with, I'm not good enough. I'm not worth it. I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. These are called limiting beliefs. What are they called?
Limiting beliefs.
You're adults now, but you still honor those ideas from childhood until there's a way to change them. And here's the point that I'm making. If you practice the wrong thing long enough, you'll make it feel right. You can take any bad idea, I'm not smart enough, and pour into that over and over and look for evidence. I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. Give yourself a few years and you will be an expert at not being smart enough, that you won't be good enough, that you can't do something. You're an adult now, honoring a childhood memory belief that didn't serve you then and most definitely doesn't serve you now. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So when I say you got to be careful with your words, I now have Seth who's telling us a story. A what?
Story.
And his story is, I don't sleep well. That is an instruction. Raise your hand if you get that this is an instruction. You got to be careful what you say. By the way, how many of you have ever met someone that's like, oh, I got bad knees? Have you ever met someone that's had bad knees and never recovered from it? How many of you, like, you don't recover from bad knees? Whatever age you're at, when you get bad knees, they're going to be bad for how long? Because there's this weird thing about it that it doesn't get better. If you decide in childhood that you're stupid, you're going to be stupid how long? Your entire life. You're going to be insecure on this issue your entire life. Now, by the way, there is a solution for this, but I want to start by helping you understand that every single one of us is going to make really poor decisions about ourselves in life. And then we're going to practice it long enough that it feels like identity. But it's nothing more than getting what you practiced, because kids practice really stupid things. Seth is now an adult, but he's practicing
A really stupid thing.
He's practicing that he doesn't sleep well. Then on top of that, he's also practiced what about 5:30 a.m.? It's hard because are you a morning person?
No.
Okay, so with confidence, yes or no?
No.
Yeah. So by the way, raise your hand. Those of you in this room, they're like, I'm not a morning person. Raise your hand. What if the only reason why you're not a morning person is because you've been telling yourself for a really long time that you're not a morning person? If I take my gun out right now, my revolver, and I put it on your head, and I say, I'm going to shoot your brains out unless tomorrow morning you can wake up at 5:30 and do jujitsu. Do you think you're going to wake up? Do you think you're going to do jujitsu?
Probably.
Where did the motivation come from?
Immediate danger.
You felt, thank you. I know that was a little graphic, but the point is the motivation is in there somewhere, but do you really want to be motivated by fear?
That's the alarm clock I need.
Okay. So the point is that morning person, late night person, good sleeper, bad sleeper, these are just ideas that we adopt. If you've ever told yourself, I'm not a morning person, I promise you, I could make you a morning person. My morning starts every day at 4:45 a.m. And on the weekend, it's 5:30 a.m. And that is sleeping in. That is so much sleep, right? But all I'm really sharing with you is a belief that I can leverage a morning. By the way, is that better than being a person that's not a morning person? It's not good or bad. This is your life. This isn't my life. I'm not saying that being a morning person is better, but you're recognizing that if you had a choice, you'd like to be a morning person. True or false?
True.
Because you'd like to be able to do the morning jujitsu and grab some physicality. True or false?
True.
Yeah. So now he's got a choice. He's like, I wish I could do it. I'd love to do it, but I can't do it because I don't sleep well and I'm not a morning person. Who's going to win this argument?
Me.
You will win every single time. You get everything you want. So here's the sick, twisted thing. You can say that you would like to do morning jujitsu, but the reason why you can't is because you need to be right about not being a morning person. And to make that work, you also have to be right about being poor at sleeping. So you get to win. You're all winning. If you're getting a result in life that you really want, you're winning. And if you're getting something you don't want, you're winning because you get what you want. If you want something bad, if Joseph wants to believe that he's not smart enough, ta-da, you're right. You're not. Is that unfair? Let me tell you something about the world. Your eyes pick up 20 million bits of information every second, but your conscious mind can only process 200 to 400 of them, which is like a drop in an ocean. So if there are 20 million bits of information available, and you can only process 200 to 400 of them, I wonder which 200 to 400 you're actually filtering, seeing, and processing. What you believe in, and what you're biased to believe in, what you filter for. So our friend right here in the back said, I want to make $10 million a year. How many of you think that was pretty gutsy to declare? I'm telling you right now, give me your name one more time. Travis, there's a world for you that exists where there are opportunities in time for you to get to that income level. And I'm going to show you ways to do that. And he has a shot of getting there. You don't. Do you know why?
Because I'm scared.
Because you're scared and you didn't think it was possible. First of all, you have to believe that something is possible even to have a shot at getting it. No guarantee. Just even have a shot. But he's got a shot of getting to 10 million. You don't until you do what? until you change your belief system. 10 million is just a number. It's no different than a billion. Just maybe takes a little bit more time of doing the right kind of things, truthfully. So the question is, what are you creating with all three of these, but also with words? So my guess is that you're in a pattern of struggle. And when you think about, well, I'm having a hard time sleeping, I feel like I should get up in the morning, I'd like to attend the class, oh, I slept through my alarm clock, that was really hard. When you go through that routine, how long have you been doing that broken record?
Back and forth on and off for like 5-6 years.
Good. So in those last 5 or 6 years, when you play this game, what is the net emotional impact on how you feel about yourself when you play that game? I should, but I don't. I feel bad. I should try harder, but I get bad sleep. I can't do it. I should get up in the morning. That would be cool. I can't do it. What are you reinforcing emotionally, and what's the outcome?
It's a negative outcome, but I guess the emotional reinforcement there is that I can't achieve the thing that I'm trying to.
Yeah, I can't. And then there's a feeling that goes with can't. What is that?
Disappointment in myself.
Yes. And by the way, what does disappointment lead to?
Lack of production and lack of
Definitely going to be a lack of production. But if you practice disappointment long enough, you get paid in something. What are you getting paid in?
I don't know.
Depression. True or false?
True.
Yeah. And I'm curious if you had to judge yourself. And by the way, Travis is being incredibly vulnerable right now. I just want to acknowledge that because you're standing here and doing something that your peers aren't. And this is for you. How many hours a day, if you had to guess, honest, would you say that you're practicing sadness or depression a day? Meaning focusing on thoughts that lead to disappointment.
Probably 6 to 10.
6 to 10 hours. Okay, now by the way, he doesn't sleep very well, but let's assume it's 4, 5, or 6 hours?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 hours. By the way, is that healthy? No, but he has to be right, and he's doing a great job being right, which is why he sleeps so crappy. So his other poor 21 waking hours or 20 waking hours, 6 to 10, how much is that of 20? That's a third. A third of his day is practicing self-disappointment. This last month, how many contracts you close?
Not as many as the month before.
Well, how many?
I don't know the number.
Why don't you know the number? You should know that number.
Yeah, I don't usually keep track of the specific number. I just kind of keep going.
Who's your manager?
Do you know what it is, Ethan?
He's closed.
Ish. 3, so not even one a week. Yeah. By the way, how long have you been in solar?
Full-time since April.
Full-time since April. And how do you feel about closing 3 a month?
I'd like that to be a weekly goal.
Yeah, you'd like for it to be, but because it's not, how do you feel about that?
Pretty frustrated with myself.
Yeah. And by the way, so now we're practicing disappointment. Now we're practicing frustration. What else accompanies what you're practicing?
It's another form of momentum, but it's momentum in the wrong way.
Yeah. And by the way, what direction is that leading you in?
Backwards.
And where is that putting you?
No worse position.
What does that even mean?
I'm not quite sure.
What does it mean to be in a worse position today than the day before? Where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Is that a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, he's doing a really good job doing some soul search right here. Being picked on, by the way, from a person that really actually genuinely loves him. This man has sat in my home. Give him a big round of applause for that. Super awesome. Super awesome. If you practice negativity for 1 hour a day, not 6 to 10, if you practice negativity for 1 hour a day, that is enough to eliminate at least 50% of your potential results. Just to create some clarity. So I invite you to just reflect for a moment. How much time do you give yourself permission a day to spend in frustration, anxiety, sadness, anger, disappointment. If you had to give yourself like a number, how many hours do you think you spend a day practicing an energy that you don't like or you don't appreciate?
The number? Probably like 4 to 6.
4 to 6. That is a part to full-time job.
Yeah.
It's really hard to produce results if you are working a full-time opportunity, but it's competing against a different full-time opportunity. Because when you're feeling bad and producing, like you're practicing that negativity, that full-time job is making sure that you can't probably get even 10 or 20% of your potential at this opportunity. And it's not elite, it's any opportunity. Now, the truth is, anyone that is practicing even an hour of negativity a day, there's half your results right there. But it does get consecutively worse. By the way, is this a little heavy? Is this a little heavy? Do me a favor, stand up. 3 times, we're gonna jump in the air. Ready? And again. One more time. This time I need you to touch the ceiling. Here we go. Go. Oh yeah, we got some jumpers in the room. All right. Josh Jones will pay for it, it's okay.